I think you could do a little scientific research, and the results might be very informative for you. Even if you were to suspect the results, the confirmation would be enlightening. The question is, what is success? Were you to ask this of, say, 100 people, you might get 40 plus different answers, but I suspect there would be an overriding theme. And what would that be? You guessed it. It's money. Jesus will explain God's idea of success today in Luke 16:14-15. My name is Dave Hughes, and this is Glory Bound Ministry. Before giving this scripture, I want to share a couple of introductory verses, which would be Luke 16:10-11. The one who is faithful in a very little thing is also faithful in much. And the one who is unrighteous in a very little thing is also unrighteous in much. Therefore, if you have not been faithful in the use of unrighteous wealth, who will entrust the true wealth to you? Without question, I need to circle back to these two verses for some digging at a later date. They're just too powerful to leave fallow. But for now, let me say that true wealth comes from God, and it's a precious commodity that is to be wisely shepherded. But let's get into today's verses, Luke 16:14-15. Now the Pharisees, who were lovers of money, also heard all these things, and they derided him. And he said to them, "You are those who justify yourselves before men, but God knows your hearts. For what is highly esteemed among men is an abomination in the sight of God." Yep, the Pharisees loved money, and they did not like the idea that Jesus called this fixation an abomination in the sight of God. In fact, the word says they derided him. Barclay says deride literally means to turn up one's nose. Something like that. How did Jesus react to this insult and total rejection? Did it say he turned from the Pharisees in shame? Hardly. Jesus said, "You are those who justify yourselves before men, but God knows your hearts. For what is highly esteemed among men is an abomination in the sight of God." As a lover of money, as a lover of the world, the Pharisees were setting the standard as to just what is success. Chew on this part today, will you? The world seems still to maintain this standard of wealth as a pinnacle of success. The markers of success are all the things that come with it: houses, cars, jewelry, bling of any sort, power, control. These are the things others cannot have. And the world says because they have it, they justify themselves to us. What comes from this justification? It says, I'm doing something right, and you're not. Here's what I want you to chew on, since the thought is, if I'm a success, God has blessed me, not you. If that's the thought process, at least that's what we're told to believe, or insinuated to believe. I think the world believes this, even if they are not of faith. Satan's lie, to be certain, because let's circle back to the end of the verse 15. For what is highly esteemed among men is an abomination in the sight of God. Okay, that gets my attention. What is highly thought of as righteous by the world is disgusting in the sight of God. As I think about this, perhaps I should have done these verses on Halloween, because this scripture has a terrifying or redemptive and uplifting few words. Depends on your point of view. It depends on who you are. Are you a believer in Jesus Christ or lost in the world? Those words I'm referring to, but God knows your hearts. That's scary. As a believer, we say, yes, Lord. Redeemed, saved, child of God, justified, sanctified, and soon to be glorified. Choose Jesus and be blessed. Have a great day.